Welcome to Experiment 3. In this lesson, we are going to investigate whether plant leaves contain starch and demonstrate that science is methodical. We will follow clear step-by-step procedures to conduct this experiment. This is a more complex experiment than the previous two, but it beautifully demonstrates how scientists use specific techniques and procedures to investigate natural phenomena. Let us begin. Our aim is to test whether plant leaves contain starch. Our hypothesis is that leaves exposed to sunlight will have starch, but leaves kept in darkness won't. This experiment demonstrates that science is methodical. That means we follow clear step-by-step procedures. It also shows how scientists use specific techniques and chemicals to test for substances. This is an important experiment because it shows how photosynthesis produces starch in plants. Let's see what we need. Here is what you need: fresh leaves, so use leaves that have been exposed to sunlight, test tubes and a test tube stand, an electric kettle for boiling water, forceps for handling the leaves, a beaker for hot water, a glass rod for stirring, ethanol. This is alcohol used in laboratories. Iodine solution. This is what we use to test for starch. Distilled water, a petri dish, and white towel for the final test. Make sure you have all these materials before you start. Some of these materials are more specialized than the previous experiment. Safety is very important in this experiment. So you keep ethanol away from open flames because ethanol is flammable. Wear eye protection when handling ethanol or iodine. Be very careful with hot water. It can cause serious burns. Handle plant sap carefully. It may cause skin irritation. Ensure good ventilation because ethanol produces fumes. Wash your hands thoroughly after the experiment. And if you are young, have an adult supervise. Safety first. That is more complex than the previous experiment, so extra care is needed. Let's start with part 1. Step 1, prepare the leaf. So part 1, prepare the leaf. Step 1, under part 1, you gather fresh leaves from plants that have been exposed to sunlight. You pour boiling water into a beaker. Using forceps, carefully place a leaf in the hot water for 3 minutes. This kills the leaf and stops chemical reactions. Remove the leaf and observe what happens. The leaf will change color slightly. This step is important because it prepares the leaf for the next steps. It stops the chemical reactions that would otherwise continue in the leaf. Part 2. Part 2. That is removing the chlorophyll. Step 1 under Part 2. Transfer the leaf to a test tube. Fill the test tube halfway with ethanol. Place the test tube in a beaker of boiling water. This is called a hot water bath. The heat helps the ethanol dissolve the green chlorophyll. Watch as the leaf loses its green color. The chlorophyll dissolves into the ethanol, turning it green. If the leaf is still green after 5 minutes, replace the ethanol with fresh ethanol. This step is important because it removes the green color so we can see the starch test clearly. The green chlorophyll would interfere with the iodine test. Part 3, that is test for starch. Step 1 under Part 3, remove the leaf from the test tube using forceps. Then rinse it under cold water to remove the ethanol. Gently wash it with tap water. Replace the leaf in a petri dish on a white tile. Then you add iodine solution, making sure the entire leaf is covered. Now, watch carefully. If starch is present, the leaf will turn blue-black. This is the iodine starch reaction. It is a very clear visible result. The blue-black color indicates the presence of starch. This is a beautiful demonstration of how scientists use chemical tests to detect substances. Here's what you should expect. The leaf will turn blue-black when you add iodine. This is a clear visible result that indicates starch is present. The color change happens because iodine reacts with starch. Observe carefully. Where is the color darkest? The darkest areas have the most starch. This tells you where starch is concentrated in the leaf. Usually, the areas that were exposed to the most sunlight have the most starch. This makes sense because starch is produced during photosynthesis, which requires light. Write your conclusion and state that the leaf turned blue-black, indicating starch is present. Explain how this demonstrates that science is methodical. Discuss what this tells us about photosynthesis. Now, starch is produced during photosynthesis when light energy is converted to chemical energy. The presence of starch in leaves exposed to sunlight confirms that photosynthesis is occurring. This is a beautiful demonstration of how science works. We use specific procedures and tests to investigate natural phenomena. This experiment demonstrates several characteristics of science. It is methodical because we followed clear step-by-step procedures. Each step was important and had a specific purpose. It is objective because the iodine test gives an objective result. The leaf either turns blue, black, or it doesn't. It is verifiable because anyone can repeat this experiment and check the results. And it is empirical because we used direct observation and a chemical test to investigate the presence of starch. This is what makes science reliable and trustworthy. Thank you for watching this starch experiment. If you try this experiment, share your results in the comments. Tell us what you observed. You have now completed all three experiments that demonstrates the characteristics of science. See you later.